Here we go, Friday, 2nd of July. G'day, I'm Luke. It's about 5 o'clock, just watched Brazil go at the World Cup. And a bit disappointed with that, but well done to Holland. So I thought I'd come cheer myself up with this. I rode it last night, obviously, for the first time, and it was funny. I was really expecting it to just not work, you know, or to have something wrong with it, or just be like, you know, a good standard cruiser, but it really grabbed me by the balls and shook me around a bit, because it's just amazing. I'm just loving it. As I said, I was trying to say last night about, you know, hasn't got like the traditional finishes and the kind of niceness, I suppose, of a Harley in that aspect, the aesthetics around here. It does just look like, say, handlebars bolted onto a frame kind of thing, but the experience of riding it is just like nothing else, you know, because it is a muscle, it's like a muscle car. It goes, except it wants to turn corners as well, and that just torque and power, you just want to ride that wave. The brakes I mentioned last night, you know, are great. Coming in at under 14,000 for a bike like this, that's putting it, you know, in Rocket 3 territory, Harley territory. It's, you know, continuing, the only thing that really come into a similar thing to this would be like a Fat Bob and maybe a V-Rod, but even then I don't know if you'd have that. V-Rod maybe, yeah, but that punch and that torque, obviously the Rocket's got more, it's a 2.3 litre engine, but it's about the usability of that power, and this has really surprised me. I must admit, for a company that's been making them for 10 years, and for a bike that, you know, I'll be honest with you, the first time I saw was at the bike show properly last year, if you know what I mean. Yeah, and look at it. I mean, that's another thing, it's the finish. I know I've been speaking to a couple of other actually reviewers at MCN and stuff, and they've had one of these on a long-term loan. They've just been saying, you know what, they're really struggling to find any fault with it, and it just puts a big smile on your face, which is what bikes like this are all about. Anyway, I'm going to head out, I've got some errands to do, pick up some dog food, drop some money off to some mates, and I'm going to cruise in the sun for a bit, get some onboard footage, and then voila, I'll be back in a bit. That back end is responsible for one of the most fun bikes I've ever ridden ever. Victory Hammer S. Tell you what, man, it's been a long time. As much as I love riding all these bikes, I've ridden a bike and I've really thought I could buy one. I think it's probably the R1 last. And look at my collection, it's not bad. Street Fighter, Blade, Gixxer. This is going back tomorrow. Get the Super Tenere 1200 to the National Road Rally on Sunday, which will be wicked. I'm doing it with Shaky Burn, so that'll be cool. This one's got to go back next week at some point, so I can swap it for I don't know, VFR 800 maybe. I'm on the Honda 750 Cruiser, Street Fighter. I don't know how long I've got it for, but on all these recently, obviously this is the one I'm focusing on, Victory S. Simply makes me feel like a kid. Big smile on my face, man. It's just amazing. Adrenaline rush like I used to get when I got on the Rocket and on the Thunderbird, man. Of all these bikes, this is the one I want to jump on every time at the moment. It makes me show off as well. You probably noticed on the head cam. I don't know if it will come out when I edit it, but I saw some of my friends, you know, and on this bike you just give them a nod, swing out the back, poof, blast them with a bit of exhaust. You can't help it. The power is just brilliant, and with that back wheel, 250, man, that's amazing. And it just gives you grip. It doesn't feel like it's going to run out, even though all that torque, you feel like some point the front's almost going to come up. There's so much torque, but it just grips, and it's so good having handy brakes, good suspension, and a bike that actually rides and performs. Yes, you know, this looks like the interior of a Vauxhall Astra, the way that it's kind of done up here. I think the bodywork and everything's stylish, is nice. Those black bits there, I suppose they're going to be chrome. I suppose it goes with the black effect. You know, I think it looks the part, but you know, you've just got to get past the fact that, you know, it's not Harley, it hasn't got a Harley badge on it, because it's everything that Harley should be. I love my Harleys, you've got to get me right on this. I'm not saying Harleys are bad bikes, they're amazing bikes, but when I get on a cruiser, I want it to feel, I remember when I read the Intruder for the Suzuki as well, Japanese cruisers, I want it to feel like, rah, something was going to, you know, it's like a dinosaur you're wrestling with. It's got that real old bang bang sound, and it's got power, and yet, you know, you can actually ride it, you don't want to kill yourself. Great thing about this. And I'd say with the Thunderbird from Triumph as well, these are the two ones I'm really raving about because they're different. Purely because it does that. It makes you feel like a kid. It's like getting in a muscle car, which I always dreamed of as a kid. I had a 1970 Z28 Chevy Camaro when I was out in the Middle East. I never really got a chance to drive it because I couldn't get insured or anything. So this is as closest I've come to it. It is like the Rocket 3. It's like the Thunderbird in that respect. It's not as powerful as a Rocket 3. I'm not comparing them like that, but just in the effect they have on you. And as I've got a Thunderbird coming over the next few weeks, I'll be very interested to compare this to that. But honestly, under £14,000, this is just an amazing machine. I would ride it everywhere, you know. It's so comfortable, you can commute on it. Obviously if you were commuting every day in the rain, probably wouldn't be a great idea. Get yourself some good waterproofs. I'd be interested to see what that back tyre would be like in the rain as well, because obviously there's so much grip in the dry, but I imagine it's pretty manageable. It's not as powerful as like the Rocket 3, so it's probably not that bad. But yeah, you know, you can have fun on it. You're not going to be left behind by any of your mates on racing bikes because of that torque and the way it handles. It's just a great bike. Anyway, Friday, I've got to go DJ at the Flapper, take my dog for a walk, and get on it for the weekend. National Road Rally Sunday. Oh yeah, I'm going to have a lot of fun, be doing a lot of filming from there. So until then, my friends, ride safe.